Hello, welcome to our second Civic Saturday. This is Union County Public Library, and I am your host, Gypsy Culp Houston. I am the genealogy and local history librarian here at the Monroe Library. I really appreciate you tuning in or coming in for today. Today is, I believe, our first in-person adult program that we've had, so I'm pretty excited to be able to have someone in the audience, so that's cool. And as always, I'm happy to see you guys tuning in from wherever you're tuning in from. So today I would like to talk to you a little bit about what Civic Saturday is. Civic Saturday is a gathering that is similar to a faith gathering, but it has no religious content. We are here to basically promote the religion of civics. We want people to be more involved in their community. We want people to be more involved in their democracy. It's not politically affiliated. It's just that we think each individual can do things to make the world better. I received training from Citizen University. I am a Civic Saturday Fellow. Shout out to my cohort group, Rehumanines. Also, shout out to Eric Liu and the rest of the Civic University staff. So today what we'll do is we will hear a song, we will hear a poem, and we will hear a civic scripture, and then you'll hear a civic sermon. And then I will leave you with a charge of things that you may want to work on to make our world and our community a better place. So thank you so much. So what we'll do first is have a poem. We're gonna have a poem, a reading by Tino Bratbo. He is an employee here at the Union County Public Library. We're happy to have him. He stepped in at the last minute, so I am very thankful to have him. So Tino, if you wanna come up and read a poem by Walt Whitman for us.
O Me, O Life by Walt Whitman. O me, O life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, of myself forever reproaching myself, for whom more foolish than I, and whom more faithless, of eyes that vainly crave the light, of the objects me, of the struggle ever renewed, of the poor results of all, of the plodding and sordid crowds I see around me, of the empty and useless years of the rest, with the rest me entwined. The question, O me, so sad recurring, what good amid these, O me, O life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists an identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse.
Thank you, Tina. I think we all realize that we can contribute a verse. And that's why we're here, that's why we're tuning in, that there is a powerful play going on, but we all can contribute a verse. How awesome is that? Next, we're gonna have a song, and it is you can sing along, I'm not singing, it is a recording of a song. We're gonna listen to This Little Light of Mine, which is a traditional song sang in churches around America, especially the South, but we are just listening to the This Little Light of Mine part, so no religious affiliation is necessary.
Little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. It is a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. It is a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yes, this little light of mine, let it shine. Just a little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. May we know that together. It's a little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's a little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's a little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
So that song was by Odetta singing This Little Light of Mine. We don't actually know who wrote that song. There is some discrepancy, but it has been sang for years and years and years. And I think while it was written to have one meaning, I think we all have a light inside of us and we need to let it out. And so I believe that we can use that in a civic purpose, to let our light shine. And so we all have a light, and I encourage you to let it shine. Next, we're going to move into the civic scripture portion of this morning, and we're going to have our very own Elena Wolf, who is the branch librarian at our Waxhaw Library. I am so honored to have my coworkers assist me and help me with this. I also have, you can't see her, people at home, but Yolanda Elliott, who is our reference assistant manager here at the Monroe Library. So it means a lot to have people that support things that we're trying to do. And I also want to thank our director, Nina Meadows Nina Chafin, that's right, Nina Chafin, for allowing us to have this. And I've had big support from our county manager, Mark Watson. So I thank all of those people and everyone that's tuning in. So Elena, if you want to come up and you can tell us what you're reading, since I did not say it.
I am reading an excerpt from the Bucket List for Involved Citizens, 76 Things You Can Do to Boost Civic Engagement. This is a blog post from the Brookings Institution's blog called Education and Development. It was posted November 12, 2019, and it's written by Rebecca Winthrop and Meg Hubeck. It isn't too complicated. Civic engagement is the glue that holds self-government together. Yet civic participation and engagement has been on the decline for several decades. Therefore, each and every one of us must be as active and involved in our community and country as possible. Self-government is hard work and requires effort. Action is essential to maintaining the foundations of our democracy, no matter which political party happens to be in power. To be a truly involved citizen, we must reconnect with our founding documents. We must learn and practice the skills of civic participation, beginning with voting and moving on to legislating, speaking out, and building coalitions to solve problems on the local, state, and federal levels. While by no means comprehensive, the Democracy 76 list below provides specific and practical actions that we can all take to be an involved citizen. The list is broken into 5 actions that are essential components for engagement. It is expressly free from politics and partisanship and should be undertaken by all Americans, regardless of political perspectives or affiliation. I will not read the list, but instead will share with you the 5 actions. Action number 1, stay informed. Action number 2, vote. Action number 3, participate. Action number 4, build community. And action number 5, get social. Again, this was an excerpt from the Bucket List for Involved Citizens, 76 things you can do to boost civic engagement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elena, for reading that for us. I think that if you look at those things, we all see things that we could do. If you're interested, I do have a copy of the 76 things. If you would like to know them. If you're at home and you'd like one, just send us an email and we will get the list to you. So now, I'm going to get started with our civic sermon. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here and also for tuning in if you're tuning in from home. This civic sermon is yet untitled. I have played around with a couple titles. Originally, it was entitled Civic Responsibility, It's Not Political. And then the sermon took a different detour, and so it wasn't appropriate. It's still not political, but it's just not the basis of the sermon. Next, I came up with civic engagement and change making, two sides of the same coin. So that is the working title, but it is yet untitled. So here we go. Buckle your seatbelts. As a government employee, I must refrain from partisan politics. My political and religious beliefs, which I mostly keep to myself, are separate from my job. And as you guys know, you know where I work. It is a fine line to walk sometimes, but for the most part, I'm okay with that. Honestly, I don't like talking about politics anyway. Let's face it, talking about politics these days is like stepping in a minefield and hoping it won't explode. No, thank you. While I do abhor talking about politics, I consider myself to be somewhat of a change agent. As a librarian, I provide information that allows people to make informed decisions about whatever they're interested in. And I'm very proud of that fact. I also promote equal access to necessary resources and learning opportunities. I feel like the library today has changed so much, but there are so many people that don't have things that some of us take for granted, and the library is here to offer those things to everyone. It doesn't matter your income level, it doesn't matter your social status, we welcome everyone here. And that is another fact that I am very proud of. And lastly, which is not really lastly, but as a mother, I'm helping to shape 2 humans into productive, caring members of society. That's the goal, right? We want them to be productive, caring members of society. And I'm working every day to make that a reality. As an everyday citizen, I work daily to lead with kindness. I try to send out positivity into the universe. I believe that being kind sometimes is the most radical and hardest thing that we can do. So I value that and I strive. I don't always get it right, but I strive to lead with kindness. I enjoy change making, be it situational, changing lives, changing communities, or changing attitudes. I believe that civic responsibility is rooted in change making. No matter your politics, your religion, or your creed, I think that you also believe in change making. Otherwise, why would you be spending your Saturday morning doing this? Let's work together to be the change that we want to see. I have a quote from Pulitzer and Nobel Prize winner Pearl S. Buck. If you want to understand today, you have to search yesterday. As mentioned previously, I'm a librarian, but specifically, I am a genealogy and local history librarian. My job is literally to help people research history. How cool is that? I think it's pretty cool. I really enjoy my job. In genealogy and local history, we research the history of people, places, and things. Basically, we're the nouns of the librarian. We climb family trees, research communities, and dig into historical records. The beauty of history, whether personal or communal, is that we can build upon the good and learn from the bad. I will share a personal example. I come from a long line of substance abusers. Based on that knowledge and based on the knowledge and respect that I have for my family history, I have made purposeful choices to refrain from certain activities. And sometimes that was hard, but I know my history and I don't want to repeat it. And I have made a conscious choice to be different, to be better. The secret of change is to focus all your energy on not fighting the old, but building the new. These words spoken by Greek philosopher Socrates over 2,000 years ago still ring true today. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy on not fighting the old, but building the new. Unfortunately, no matter how much we wish things were different, we can never change the past. So what can we do? Well, I propose that we have a few options. We can glorify history and follow in its footsteps. We can try to hide or run from it. Lastly, and what I actually propose, is that we keep the meat and spit out the bones. When I say that, I mean we can learn about history and then learn from history and work to be different, to be better. If my proposed route is taken, next we have to choose what our better looks like. That has to be an individual decision. It's different for each of us. One's not better, and one does not override the other. We can all have our own vision and work to it. What does your better look like? Does it look like, and these are just some options, these don't have to be what yours look like. Does it look like the availability of fresh food for all people? Is it well cared for older adults? Or maybe it's a community free of litter, and people think that's something very small, but litter's a big deal. So I don't belittle anyone's choices. No matter what we choose, once we have a picture of what our better looks like or how our better looks, then we must take steps towards painting the picture into reality. What can you do? Let me be clear. We don't always have to reinvent the wheel. First, we need to research to see who is already working in that area. And if there's someone already working in what you're interested in, reach out to them. Find out if you can help. Find out what you can do to be a part of it. But if you can't find anyone doing it, you may have to make it happen yourself. And just so you know, I know a great place you can start your research. It's right here at the library. Now that we have established that change making is not political, and we've learned to use history to create a better tomorrow, let's talk about civic engagement and change making. To me, the desire to create change is the why of civic engagement. Civic Plus defines civic engagement as part of civic participation where the community works together to make a difference in the life of their community. That sounds like change making to me. And when we define community, you don't have to limit how you define your community. It can be as small as your neighborhood or as big as the entire world. I think with the internet and everything has opened up, the internet has opened up the world. Travel has opened, airplanes, everything has opened up the world. So now we're one big community. So you don't have to limit yourself. The bottom line is that civic engagement changes a community no matter how you define community. If we want to see change, we must engage and be change agents. This may look different for each person. There is no one right way. When defining your better, we must also see the ladder. When defining better, we must also see the ladder leading from where we are to where we want to be. We must then be willing to climb the ladder to reach our better. To quote a Negro spiritual, every round goes higher and higher. My charge to you today is to explore history, define your better, and work to make it a reality. Be different, be better. Thank you. So that concludes my civic sermon. We had planned on having some civic circles where we would discuss that, which we can still do it with this small group, and you at home. I'm going to give you your charge or the questions that we would have if we were inside the civic circles, and I would like for you to ponder these things and try to figure out what your answers are and work to be better. If you're interested in contacting me at gypsy.houston@unioncountync.gov, I'd love to hear your answers. So here we go. In a few words, describe your idea of better. And remember, the possibilities are endless. No one is judging you. Number 2, what does civic engagement look like to you? How can you contribute, and what steps will you take towards your better? Because I would like for you to leave this Civic Saturday with a fire in your belly to let your light shine. And to remember that you can add a verse to this big play that Walt Whitman discussed. So I'd like you to think all those things. Let your light shine. Let your build on the ladder. Every round goes higher and higher. And remember, be different, be better. Thank you. This concludes our Civic Saturday. I would really like to thank everyone for coming out and joining us. This was awesome. I love these gatherings. I hope to have another one in September, so I hope you will come in next time so that we can gather together and we can have the civic circles. I thank the library. I thank everyone. I thank my coworkers. I thank my family for helping me put it together. And I just hope that you all have an awesome Saturday. Go be great. Thank you. All right. Do y'all want to discuss? Turn off.
Gypsy, let me get your email address again.
Okay, it's